Hey, my name is Dr. Timothy Johnson from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I first heard about Clay and his team from their podcast, the one he hosts with Dr. Robert Zellner. I was really impressed with what he had to say and reached out to them for business coaching. I went to a business conference and kind of became hooked. I've learned a lot in the process. The main thing I've learned is about search engine domination. I've learned the importance of being at the top of search engines such as Google and YouTube and Amazon, and it's really changed our business. Another thing that's helped that he's taught us is systemization and processes in terms of just making sure to do the small things every day. And so I would definitely check out his new book, Search Engine Domination. Thank you.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Jason, on today's show, we are interviewing the ophthalmologist from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Dr. Timothy Johnson, who's the co-founder of Southern Eye Consultants. And he's sharing with us about how he's been able to grow his practice by 15% by implementing the Dream 100, the group interview, the search engine optimization, the HTTPS encryption, the no-brainer ads, the Google reviews, all, the search engine content. Why do you feel like all the listeners should listen to today's show?
Well, one, Tim is the man, but he is, without a doubt, one of the best cases I've seen come through the program of a diligent doer and somebody who implements. And that 15%, which is one of the craziest things he said, was it's been consistent each month he's grown, has been a result of him implementing each and every one of those systems.
If you feel stuck and your business is just unable to grow for some reason, you don't know what to do, or maybe you now are learning what to do, but you just don't know if the system actually works, this interview with Dr. Timothy Johnson from Tuscaloosa, Alabama is for you.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
3, 2, 1.
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to.
Hello?
Oh, Dr. Timothy Johnson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I appreciate you agreeing to do a hostile impromptu 6:26 a.m. interview. Your time, though, is it 7:26 or is it 6:26?
6:26. It's God's time.
Now, I have 2 questions for you. We have so many listeners, about 500,000 listeners a month who listen to the show, and many of which I would say are normal. In fact, I would say most are normal. I don't think most people have been self-employed in large part since the age of 16. And so there's a little healthy skepticism that exists, I think. You're an ophthalmologist. Can you kind of explain your educational background?
Yeah, so to get into ophthalmology, you do 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, and then an internship, and then 3 years of residency. And then some people do a fellowship too, but that's the minimum.
So when you meet a guy who dresses like Adam Sandler, who has a 20,000 square foot building, who is teaching people how to grow companies, can you explain the healthy dose of skepticism, cynicism, sarcasm, whatever that you have experienced when you and I first met or first interacted?
Yeah, I had a lot of skepticism at first because it seemed to make sense, which to me, everything seemed to sound good. When things sound good, I don't like it. But the month to month thing made me feel a lot better. And then so I was doing it for a few months, and went to a conference, and then it really clicked. I think going to the conference made it really click. That
Can you talk to me about the kind of growth that you've experienced in terms of just numbers, numeric growth? You're a numbers guy. You're not an idiot. When you're in the world of medical, you have to deal with insurance companies. You have to be accurate. The world of vague generalities doesn't work in that world. Can you kind of explain maybe some of the growth that you've experienced?
Yeah, we've experienced a lot of growth over the last year, this year versus last year. I'd say, I don't know, somewhere like 15%.
So 15% growth in has it been a year or 6 months or 9 months or?
About 9 months, maybe. Every month over the last year seems to be the same. Yeah.
And we're in an economy where, and correct me if I'm wrong, but according to Forbes, 9 out of 10 businesses fail, startups fail. The average business that actually succeeds or that makes it only grows at about a 3% rate according to the GDP. And I believe that a lot of ophthalmologists are experiencing a shrinking, a declining market, or staying the same. Would you agree that most ophthalmologists are either not growing or are growing very little?
Yeah, I think the market in general, when you're relying on government or insurance and things like that, is getting tougher, and so it's a tough world out there.
So talk to me.
Keep your head above water.
So talk to me about the areas that you have been the most skeptical about, or the areas where you've been like, gosh, I don't know if that's true. Because I think there's somebody out there who is wanting to ask these questions, but they don't, we only have 160 coaching clients, so the vast majority can't talk to us. You know what I mean? What were some of the skeptic points where you're like, I don't know if that's how that works?
I would say the big three are the Google reviews, the group interview, and for me, the website content.
Okay.
I know some people also are skeptical about the Dream 100. That made sense to me beforehand, but the other three didn't.
Let's get into the Dream 100. Can you kind of explain to the listeners out there what the Dream 100 is and maybe where you were initially skeptical about it and how it works?
So I have a clinic, Southern Eye Consultants, which is just purely referral based. We pretty much don't do primary eye care. We do get referrals from other doctors. So optometrists like Dr. Z would see you and then say you have a cataract and send it to us. So we don't generate our own revenue. What we do, you know what I'm saying? We get referrals from it's a business to business type business. And so it made a lot of sense to me to need to go out to them and keep my face there. I wasn't doing it as well as I should have. And then you said something that made a lot of sense. You said go there every week because if you show them that you are reliable in going there every week, you'll show them that you're reliable in taking care of their patients. And that I was like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense.
There it is.
This homeless man's not as crazy as he looks.
Now, this is interesting. Is the diligence, the consistent application of effort is what changes things. But what the world wants is a new idea. We want a new idea.
Yeah.
People go to seminars and going, oh, I got all these new ideas. I'm talking about implementation. I think you've learned that about me at this point, but I don't care about education, theoretical education, general education. I care about implementation. And when you do the Dream 100, these are the 4 or 5 steps you're going to go through. Step 1, they say, why are you here? Why are you showing up at my office? I'm an optometrist. Why are you showing up? Then step 2 is it's like, I'm annoyed that you continue to show up. It's kind of it's step 1. It's either you're annoyed or they're just kind of shocked. Step 2, they become kind of curious as to why would you keep showing up. Step 3, it's like, this guy keeps showing up. Step 4, they're like, I kind of like the fact that this guy keeps showing up. And then step 5, they're like, oh, I've acquired a taste for this beer. And even though I didn't like the taste of beer the first 8 times I had it, I've acquired a taste and now I want another beer. Can you kind of explain that cycle? Because you've gone through that cycle, and I think there's a lot of people out there who don't believe it will ever work.
Yeah, I think it's just you're going to get a certain amount of referral sources just off the bat. Let's say, I don't know, your top 15%. And then, like I've been working on this business for 5 years, I think. And I've still, this year, I was able to convince one or two to start sending to me. And then I've still got 2 that I'm still working on just for 5 years. Just every time I'll host a dinner and just invite them. And just takes time. You got to break them.
It's kind of like my relationship with John Maxwell. I don't know how many times John Maxwell's team shut me down, but eventually they said yes. Now, I've heard that we're supposed to have Dave Ramsey on our show here soon. And Dave,
cool.
Dave's been shutting me down for quite a while. And we had the founder of Ritz-Carlton on the show, Horst Schultz. That dude shut me down a lot. I remember Michael Levine. That guy shut me down more than anybody. I mean, the PR consultant for Michael Jackson and Prince.
You never know why they're saying no. And so if you believe that you provide a better product, you almost owe it to them to get them to use you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think if somebody out there is going, okay, the Dream 100, okay, I'm finally getting that, okay. But Google reviews, God,
yeah.
Google reviews, really? I'm an ophthalmologist, okay? Listen, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a dentist. I'm a home builder. People don't read Google reviews. Come on, man. No one reads Google reviews. It's all word of mouth. I'm a doctor. Can you please help somebody work through the cobwebs of getting Google reviews?
I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like the craziest thing in the world. But it's something, I'll have patients come. I don't know. I text you once a week. Someone will show up and say, oh, yeah, I just Googled you. So do you want to do my surgery? I'm like, okay. Like, I'm going to do a good job. You're lucky you found me. But, yeah, it's something with, you can explain this better than I can, with social validation.
Yeah.
People need it's hard to navigate the world until you need shortcuts. And that seems to be the shortcut that we're using.
Yeah, I have found this. This is really weird, but I remember, and in fact, I'm convinced that you and I wouldn't be talking right now unless this happened. I was DJing the heck out of my events. I started to no longer be terrible, and I was 22, and I got a call from the Tulsa Chamber of Commerce. This is in 2002. And they said, we would like to make you, would like to talk to you, would like to put you in the nomination for the Metro Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur of the Year. Not for the state of Oklahoma at this point. This is just for the city of Tulsa. And they're going, do you want to fill out the packet? And I'm like thinking, okay, do I have to pay for this? You know what I mean? Those fake awards, Tim, where you have to, the fake award. With do you want to be, you know what I'm talking about? These awards.
Like best doctor of New York. Like, yeah, those are all, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking, well, geez, I don't know whether I want, this is probably a scam. Well, I met with the chamber and I realized that it wasn't a scam. They made me fill out this packet where I had to put, Tim, my actual gross revenue. The gall. They actually wanted to interview my actual former customers. Is
that like the blue ribbon thing that?
This was the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award for the Tulsa Chamber.
Similar process. They sort of dissected you. Yeah,
and so you go through all this, and then at some point, they said, "Well, hey, you made the top 10 or whatever. Now we need to get more customers testimonials we can call. We need to interview your employees. It's a big old thing." Yeah. And then I'm starting to get annoyed at this point. I'm like, this is stupid. Why do I need to prove to you that I'm good at my job? I'm already making money. I don't need to prove to you. This is stupid. I don't need to prove to you that I am good at my job. Screw you guys. I remember saying that to myself. Screw you guys. I'm not doing that. Well, I kept filling out the paperwork. My wife's like, just fill out the paperwork. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't like paperwork. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a doctor. Well, anyway, fill out the paperwork, fill it out. All of a sudden, they call me and said, hey, we want you to know you've won. So I got to put a suit on. I'm in the Tulsa world. Started getting that validation. Big companies like Boeing, that people make airplanes. Southwest Airlines, Quick Trip, Bama companies, Bank of America started booking me to be their entertainer of choice. And I'm going, what the crap? But that was the kind of validation I needed back in the day. And now it's like Google reviews have replaced all that. Because didn't you graduate pretty high, pretty near the top of your class, or at least you weren't the anchor guy, right? I mean, didn't you do well in school?
I wasn't the anchor guy.
I mean,
What's the name of the guy who graduates from West Point at the bottom?
I think he's called the Anchor. Oh, it was the
I
Naval
think he-
Academy. The
I
Naval
think it's called the GOAT.
The Goat? Nice.
No, I think you're right. The Naval Academy.
Yeah, it's the Anchor. I know that John McCain was second to the GOAT. Senator John McCain was second to the Anchor. He was number 2 from the bottom. Now,
Yeah, West Point's called the GOAT.
but doesn't that kind of just irritate you a little bit that you have to go out there and get reviews? Doesn't that bother you? I mean, you already have a great GPA. You went to school for how long again? How long did you go to school?
Oh no, because I cheated my way through school. So
Oh.
this is kind of for me. It's just another hoop that I gotta squeeze my way. No, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm kind of a pragmatist, like whatever works. But I could see how it would annoy you. Like I can see why people don't do it. If that makes sense.
Now, what about the?
Like it's
Sorry to cut you off there. Cut out for a minute.
Oh no! It seems arbitrary. Like why this? But I don't know. You know the statistics. 95% of people use. My secretary uses Bing, and I get mad at her every time I see that. Why are you using Bing? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like 1 to 2% of the population. Check this out. Google's the number 1 search engine, and YouTube is the number 2. And YouTube has more combined searches than Bing and Yahoo combined. Now let's talk
and
about
Amazon's the same way. It's all
review driven. Now let's talk about the group interview. Somebody out there is going, I don't want to do the group interview. It seems stupid to me that I'm going to interview all the candidates at the same time. Well, let's talk about the process. Step 1, you post on Indeed, Craigslist, wherever. You always post every week. Always now hiring post. Step 1. Step 2, you interview all the candidates at the same time and you do not read the resumes. Step 3, after you interview all the candidates at the same time, then after you find the candidate that you like, then you read the resumes only after they've shadowed you. Can you explain maybe why you initially thought that was a crazy process and maybe how that's helping you out now?
I've never heard of it before. It seems crazy.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you read the resumes? And then what if they, what aren't they going to be? They're not going to be themselves in the group interview, and so it didn't make any sense to me. And plus the other thing that didn't make any sense is if we're not hiring right now, why would we be hiring? Why would I waste an hour interviewing people if I'm not hiring? That didn't make any sense. That still doesn't make any sense to me, but it works, and so I just do it.
Well, let me explain to you. Let me explain.
I just learned whatever you say. I just do it.
Well, let me explain why.
And until it doesn't work, I'll just keep doing it.
Well, let me explain why it works for about there. Is the New England Patriots are a team that I'm obsessed with. I talk about them all the time. You obviously like Nick Saban, who is a Bill Belichick disciple. But last year, Cordero Patterson was great. He's great. He was great. Did a very great job. Yay, Cordero Patterson. However, he says this year, I need to get paid. I got to get paid. I can't. Guys, I know that as a player, I say that the number one goal I have as a player is to win a Super Bowl. But you and I know, apparently, that's not the main goal for some guys. So, but that's Bill Belichick's goal. So Belichick then.
What did Latrell Sprewell? He said he got to feed my family.
Right after he was making over $10 million a year.
That's
so
exactly,
then they get
right.
Gunnar Olszewski, an undrafted kid from Bemidji State, a Division II football program, who was a defensive back in college, now has taken the spot of Cordero Patterson at wide receiver.
Yeah, I just Googled that. Bemidji State. I didn't even know that was a place.
Division II, baby.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then think about this. So while the Cowboys and every other team in the NFL are begging their players to come back, and players are holding the team hostage, the ownership hostage, because they have to pay them or they won't come back. They're holding out. After they've clearly signed a contract that they've agreed to, they're like, I'm holding out for the big bucks. You can't hold out after you're signing a contract unless you're an a-hole. But the point is, so people say, I signed a contract, I know I agreed to it, but I want to change it. Okay. Right there I have a problem. But Bill Belichick's like, it's cool. It's cool. By the way, when I say a-hole, I mean amazing whole person. You must be an amazing whole person. Just perfect in every way. What an a-hole. So anyway, so then another receiver says, I got to get paid too. Chris Hogan. He's like, I got to get paid. Now to Chris Hogan's credit, his contract was over. To Patterson's credit, his contract was over. But then they've got Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, another undrafted kid They just signed him. So the Patriots have replaced 2 starting NFL National Football League players with undrafted people. If that's not an in your face to the people who want the bigger contract, they're going to, hey, we're going to win without you, buddy. And they do it every year. But what if Bill Belichick, you watch a little bit of football there, Tim, what would happen if Bill Belichick stopped scouting new talent? Even though people have said verbally, I'm committed, coach, I'll be here next year, coach. What would happen?
He's going to be held hostage by his current talent.
There it is. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
And that's why we can never stop. And I'm not ripping the program of NC State Wolfpack football, but I don't know that the NC State is the number 5 football team, number 1 football team in America. Right? Is NC State in the top 5?
Not currently.
Are they usually
Not
a top
as
30,
currently
top 20?
constituted.
Are they normally top 25? You watch college football more than I do. Are they normally top 25?
Not usually.
So if NC State has a guy, and by the way, Jacoby Myers in college played quarterback, and they switched him to receiver towards the end of his career. But if you stop that group interview, you're going to be held hostage. Now, search engine articles. Can you talk to me about your overall wrestling with or grappling with how Google works?
I didn't get it. And then, what really flipped the switch for me was listening to those articles, those interviews you sent me.
Oh, with Bruce Clay?
Bruce Clay and then the other guy.
We have Bruce Clay. He represents the company that is called BruceClay.com. It's a great company, and if you type in Thrivetime Show Bruce Clay, you can hear my interviews with him. He writes Search Engine for Dummies every year. For the listeners out there who aren't familiar with that show, go check that out. That's Bruce Clay.
That was a good it was 2 1.5 hour pod. It was mind expanding.
He works with the Home Depot, Target, eBay, Toyota, Netflix, huge companies, the Weather Channel. And then the other guy is Gary Grant, and his company's called SEO Inc. SEO Inc. And his clients, he works with OxyFresh, the carpet cleaning franchise that I've worked with over the years. He works with just specific companies here. He works with 20th Century Fox, SC Johnson, Wedding Wire, Paul Mitchell. He works with who is the kind of a dirtier version of Victoria's Secret? Who's the dirtier one?
Oh, I thought that was interesting. What's that called?
Fredericks of Hollywood.
You're talking about Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yeah, he works with them. Don't Google it. Don't check that out, folks. But he works with them. That's the more racy of the two. Whoa, Shunda.
But he was saying they had nothing, and then he worked with them, and then they were number 1. And he said that that alone flipped the switch for him. I was like, well, that's a way to compete. That makes sense.
So for anybody out there listening, Dr. Tim, who is a doctor, dentist, lawyer, whatever, some professional, some business owner out there, and they're saying, I don't know if the group interview works. I don't know if Google reviews work. I don't know if the group interview works. I don't know if I need to actually put the HTTPS encryption on my site. I don't know whether I need to team up with a charity. I don't know if the conference works. I don't know. What would you say to him?
Just try it. It's only $1,700 a month. And if you don't like it, you can go back to keep doing what you're doing.
Now, is that a dog in the background, or are you just excited to answer that question?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. That's my dog, Colby. He's a beast. He's 140 pounds. He's loving on me.
What kind of dog is he?
He's an English golden retriever, so he's a little bigger and boxier than a normal golden.
Yeah.
He's a big white dog.
I have a question for you. This show's not very political. I just want to know. That's a dirty dog. It's a dirty dog. How does that dirty dog typically vote? Does that dirty dog typically vote Republican or Democrat? Because that is a dirty dog.
He votes libertarian.
Nice.
He's a live and let live kind of guy.
Okay, so if you're out there, by no means are we saying passively, aggressively, or aggressively do only dirty dogs vote libertarian. But as on behalf of all the dirty dogs out there who do vote libertarian, welcome to my team, Team Libertarian. we
Team
just
Dirty Dog.
Team Dirty Dog. That's we got the elephant, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the donkey. Elephants for the Republicans,
he'd be
the
a great
donkeys
mascot for the libertarians.
We had, what kind of dog is he? What kind of dog is he again?
He's just gonna hang out and leave you alone. He's a
English golden retriever.
You say English golden retriever?
Yeah. If you Google, hang on a second.
I'm Googling right now. I'll tell you that.
Oh wow.
Oh, he's a beautiful dirty
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. So they look a little different. So if you look at, go to Google Images,
Yeah.
and then yeah, the first picture. That's kind of what he looks like.
Do you wash
They
him?
look a little different. They're basically golden, but they're like boxier and creamier, I guess, in color.
Do you wash him, or is he really a dirty dog?
It's like fighting the ocean. It keeps coming. It's like that Nordic king who fought the ocean. You can't fight it. He stays dirty. He's filthy.
Hey, well, I appreciate you for joining us this morning. And if you need anything, man, I'm just a text away. And I hope you have a great day with your kiddos.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Take care, man. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
B18999.
You can hear the office going. That phone, like
99.
right
That's my
before you
favorite
calling
number.
us, we got like 5 people
Thank
on
you.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. And then what is your domain?
Okay, how much?
Domain.
Route 66 HVAC.com.
Perfect. Do you have them in stock?
Route66av.com.
HVAC.
Okay.
AC.
Can I give a PO,
HVAC.com.
please?
Okay. You ready?
Go for
It'll
it.
be 24.
Nervous, but let's go.
Okay, here we go.
And it's SH.
3.
Sorry, SCHILL.
All right, Thrive Nation. On today's show, we're talking to an HVAC man. An HV. It's what does the
Thank you so much.
HV and the AC stand for? Brandon,
Okay.
pop quiz. What's the HVAC stand for?
What's the cheapest you're gonna get?
Hitting, ventilation, and air conditioning.
Yes, this guy, I'm telling you, he knows his trade. He's actually in his office right now. So, folks, if you hear somebody on the phone, it's because they're always selling. They're always doing customer service. They are a real company. Carter, I am fired up to have him on today's show. Carter, this is your longtime client here, Route 66 HVAC.
Oh, yeah. And I'm equally fired up.
Oh, yes. Okay. So I got to ask you, we've been working with you guys for a while, and my understanding is you guys are getting more leads. Brandon, are the amount of leads increasing, sir?
Well, I can say before we started business with you guys, we didn't really have any because we just weren't using Google at all. And now we're getting so many Google leads, so many like word of mouth and cultural leads out of the community outreaches and stuff we're doing. And now we're having phones just going left and right, phone calls, and I need more phones, or we're just gonna have to answer calls. You know, it's going crazy. If you see that board back there, that's what it looks like right now in the schedule.
So that's your schedule behind you?
Yes.
So
look at how full that is.
Carter, you had something you wanted to say there.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, you're going to have to get the whole 2 phone situation going on at once. Learn how to have 2 conversations at once.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, let me tell you something real quick about this. This is let me see here. This is a true story. I don't know if I can prove it though right now. I want to prove it. The Tulsa World, they came out to my office back in the day, and they did let me see. They did an article on me. See, local DJ spinning. Let me see if I can find it. And they did an article on me. And when they did the article, they took a photo of me. And in the article, I'm holding 2 phones. Because I'm taking a phone call, and I'm on another one. And then the picture guy took a photo, and I wasn't prepared for that. So back to your business now. You guys, your phone is ringing more than ever. Is that an accurate statement, sir?
Yes, there's like never a time in the day where someone's not on the phone, and most of the time it's 2 people on the phone at the same time.
Now, Carter, in addition to that, you guys, so step one, I'm trying to go over some kind of our stack of wins here. You guys, we've increased the lead flow. That's wonderful. Next is that you guys went from a startup to where you're actually now on pace to, head to $1 million business. Tell us about the growth rate. Tell us about, because you really went from a startup to a success story.
From start point of where we got in contact with you guys, we actually did cross the $1 million mark from where we started with you guys. And I mean, we were also profitable, even though by like in the first year with all the mistakes that we made going into business at the beginning, because we didn't know, we're not business people, we're HVAC people, right? So, and we made a couple of mistakes along the road, and we're still able to be profitable in the first year,
Now,
which
so
is a
again,
feat of itself.
this is great stuff. Now, Carter, you guys are also rolling out recurring maintenance packages. Tell us about this, because I think a lot of our clients we work with in the HVAC space, in the optometry space, in the legal space. I mean, clients we work with in all different industries, they're always trying to find a way to generate recurring revenue. Tell us about these recurring maintenance packages, Carter. What kind of the vision is here?
Yeah, so the recurring revenue is great because as a business owner, it gives you a little bit of security, but it always has to be a value add for your customers. Otherwise, what's the point? And so we have come up with, or they've kind of crafted it over time, where we have 2 different recurring maintenance packages and just lets the customer choose which one works best for them. And it's a lot of it helps the customers because it's a proactive way to afford some HVAC solutions.
And I think what happens is, Brandon, I think a lot of people think, I don't qualify to have success. They watch a video like this and they go, he's a genius. Brandon's a genius. He's the golden baby. I can't possibly do this. What do you say to somebody who's thinking about reaching out to work with myself, Carter, and the team? What would you say to somebody who's, thinking about coming to a conference or thinking about scheduling a 13-point assessment?
They should straight up do it. I mean, because the advertisement that got us there on your end was a Facebook ad. It said no BS. And we went to that first conference back in July, about a year ago. And that's exactly what it was. It wasn't, you didn't beat around the bush, didn't try to do the upsells or anything like that to try to and another thing, you can be this tier, and another thing, we'll add this. No, there wasn't any of that. It was just straightforward. This is exactly what you need to do in order to make your business succeed. And it's really awesome that we were actually able to cross 1 million, because I think the average startup in HVAC space, like chucking the truck, whatever, by himself, is usually only like 100,000 for the first year. And we did approximately 10 times that.
Now, we charge a flat rate. We're a flat rate service. It's $1,700 per month. We have a weekly meeting with every client. So, Carter, you meet with these wonderful guys every week.
Yes, I do.
And in the meeting, the purpose of the meeting is to help you grow your business. But it's a flat rate service where we just charge it. How much does that help you, Brandon, as a business that went from a startup to where you guys are at, knowing that you're only going to pay a flat rate of $1,700 as opposed to some variable, ambiguous fee that may or may not be charged?
It's predictable. I know exactly what I'm getting charged every single month. And I can arrange my expenses to be able to cover all that. And it just makes it real easy on my end, trying to track it.
That is the move. Now, I'm pulling this up here again. Other things, search engine optimization. I think a lot of companies, a lot of people, they want to do online advertising, marketing, and Carter, they come to us and they have kind of a woo-woo idea of how it might work.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's all these marketing companies that pitch these theories on what might work. You might try this. You might look at this. This might make you go viral. This might get some leads. This might create a TikTok thing for you. This might create an Instagram reel that really goes viral. You might get this might work. This might move the needle. There's all that kind of, this might get your name out there. There's all those kind of marketing jargon.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a linear plan we're taking you down. Brandon, how much does it help for you to know that you have a linear plan and that Carter's going to help you track the results every week?
It just, like I've been saying, it makes it predictable. I know what's coming ahead because I've read ahead of where I need to be and where I can see in the future what's coming up. It also keeps me on the same page as we're going in the process of getting better, because we're not perfect by any means, as a company. That's the whole point of training and the whole point of coaching, to where we can get to that point.
Now, the photography, videography, web development, search engine, graphic design, we do all of that included. Plus, we do consulting. So it's kind of like you hire a CMO, a chief marketing officer, and a CFO, a chief financial officer, to work with you simultaneously to help you. How much does that help, knowing that Carter and there's a team helping you guys, and you don't have to go find separate vendors?
Quite a lot, because I don't know anything about website building or coding or anything. Like, I got to log into the background on the WordPress and stuff, but
Sounds great.
I don't go
Thanks, Rusty.
anywhere into that because
Okay.
I could mess it up really easily. I don't understand what's going on back there, but it's doing stuff and it's working.
Sorry.
And knowing that I have like an IT team or web development team is great, because that means I don't have to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a one-time purchase to go get a website that I don't understand the back office, the run, or any of the coding.
Now, video testimonials, one of the things when we help someone grow their company, I want to encourage everybody, if you're out there listening right now, there's 14 steps is how I look at it. And Carter, you start with establishing the goals, then you move on to branding, then you move on to marketing, then you move on to sales, then you move on to fulfillment, then you move on to hiring, firing, training, retaining. It's all of those systems. So when someone says, what's the most important aspect of growing a business? I would argue it's the execution of all 14 steps simultaneously.
Mhm.
Talk about, Carter, the video reviews and why that's been important for Team Route 66 here.
Well, to their credit, they've really gotten out there and just asked everyone for video reviews, and they've gotten some really good ones. And what that does is it just builds value prior to, me going out to deliver an estimate. It's like you already have, 20, 30. I mean, you guys had added 10 last week. You have 20 or 30 people positively reviewing you on your Google listing, on your website. It's like that helps the sales process on the back end a lot. And so that's been really important. And to your guys' credit, you've been great at collecting those video reviews.
I'm going to pull this up here. We've got these 14 steps on how to grow a successful business. If you want to download my newest book, A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich, you can download it, and you too can follow along here, folks. But here are the 14 steps. And I'm just going to go through these here. I'll try to zoom in so people can actually see it. 1, we establish the revenue goals. Box 2, we figure out the break-even goals. 3, we define the number of hours willing to work. 4, we determine the unique value proposition. 5, we nail down the branding. 6, we create a 3-legged marketing stool. 7, we focus on sales. And I told you about this picture. It does exist. Look, it's here.
It's great.
Tulsa World came
There
out
it
and
is.
said, hey, could we do a photo shoot with you? And I said, sure. What time you guys going to show up? They said, I'll be here around this time or that time. And they show up, and I'm literally on the phone waiting. I'm on the phone with a bride booking her wedding, but then there's a DJ over here who just called in. And so I'm doing the 2-phone thing. And that became sort of a legendary cover of the business section there. In my opinion, once you get into the sales part of the path, that's where this starts to happen. And now you got to have kind of a sober mind to help you figure out, what is it costing to acquire a new customer? And are we being organized? Because you can't build an organization if you're not organized. Are you tackling that part of it, Brandon? Are you guys right there where you're starting to put the cross the T's, put the I, put the dot on the I? Are you starting to kind of bevel and refine the systems now, or where are you out of the process?
We've laid the groundwork, and we are in that position where we're flipping over into refining the system that's working for us. And every single little day we find one little, like that 1% of correction every single day to make our system more efficient. And it's just going, and it's working.
I'm taking notes here, so I'll let you go in just a second. I'm taking notes. My final thing I wanted to clarify, I'm quoting you. I wrote this down, Carter. I typed it up here. It said, we're getting so many leads and word of mouth leads. We're having phones going left and right, and I need more phones. That's what I think you just said. So I got to ask you here, what do you say to somebody who's thinking about reaching out for a coach, for a consultant, somebody to help them in the way we've helped you? What do you say to somebody who's thinking about going to thrivetimeshow.com, scheduling a free 13-point assessment? They're thinking about coming to the conference. What do you say?
You're going to need to buy 3 phones after signing up with Clay Clark, and then you're going to have to figure out how to get your virtual phone so you can have a phone within a phone within a phone.
Okay, so I'm quoting you. I want to make sure this is right. It says here, you're going to need to buy, this guy's like a phone salesman. You're going to need to buy 3 phones.
I accept commissions.
Okay, but I mean, how would you describe the overall experience? Because you know how it is. People are thinking about working with us. How do you describe the overall impact it's made on your business?
Every single week, like as we're going through it, it helps me form habits, right? because this is not something normal that anybody is just going to know day one. Like you're not born with these skills. So like the first thing you're going to learn is how to schedule your time and manage your time management, right? Block out everything and figure out how your week is going to go, do your to-do list. And once you get that done, you really start fine-tuning your marketing in the Google. And once you do that, then you start looking inward on your company to try to via osmosis or just actively progress, getting everybody working in your company to also reflect the habits that you build along the way.
You know, this show is so hot, I must put on sunblock to watch it while editing. It's so good. Brandon, I really appreciate you carving out time for us. I really respect you guys, the work you're putting in. Carter, thanks for leading these guys down the proven path here. I'm super excited to check in with you at our December conference and see where you're at. Perhaps we'll have a new success story here in December to share. Again, thank you so much. And for people that are in the area, one more time, that website, you're in Oklahoma. What's the web address there, sir?
The web address is www.route66hvac.com.
And if you're in Delaware, go ahead and call them. I mean, it's worth the travel fee. You might as well pay for 18 hours of travel each way to have a guy fix your HVAC. It's a tourist destination, folks. It's Route 66 HVAC. Now, folks, I don't want people traveling to Tulsa just to visit the home office of Route 66 HVAC. So if you do that, at least hire them to fix somebody else's AC. All right. Thanks again there, Brandon. I really do appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July and we've had the best month ever. Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. I just want to tell you a little bit about how my life was when I was invoicing customers. It was total chaos in the office every time we had to invoice a customer. When it was time to give a customer a bill, they turned into a ninja. They'd ghost me. They'd take off. All of a sudden they had things to do. And that caused the office to spend half the day, almost every day, chasing down customers that owed us. At one point, there was a time when we had a total of $60,000 to $70,000 that was owed to us, and we were chasing these people down constantly. And after we stopped invoicing customers, we ended up coming up with a new game plan. And that game plan was to offer them that $7 diagnostic fee for first-time customers. And then we would, in order to save their spot on the schedule, we would need to take payment. So we'd either take a check over the phone or the credit card number. And this has improved so much, taken away so much headache from my business. And now the people in the office can focus on things they really need to be focusing on instead of chasing down customers that owe us money. So this has drastically improved the business and a lot less stress, definitely. Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air. Having the group interviews has drastically improved my business. My employees are no longer holding me hostage. We have group interviews every Wednesday, and we bring in the best people with the best attitudes and just willing to work and be part of our team. And if the people that we currently have are not holding up their end, we let them go, and we bring the next people up. It's been a great process.
My name is Mickey Mahalik, and I own Capital Waste Solutions. Jumping out on my own was my biggest fear. I really love that corporate safety net of a consistent paycheck, knowing that we had the corporate background structure to stay there, the standard operating procedures, everything had a book and a policy of how things had to be done. Unfortunately, that puts you in a box sometimes, and Clay helped me to release that and understand that, hey, go, take off, explore, find new areas. And it was really the confidence to jump outside the box. Anytime you start something new or you have to reach out, I feel it brings a level of exposure by admitting, maybe I don't know as much as I put off about sales or marketing. When Clay came to speak with me, he said, it's okay to not know everything. And that really was a game changer for me. You know, Clay's helped me probably the most with our graphic design on our website. That's one thing that I do not claim to know anything about. In fact, I'm better off throwing the computer out the window than I am using it. What was nice about working with the guys at Thrive 15 and working with Clay was I could go in with a silly sketch on paper, pencil and paper, and I could say, hey, this is what I want to look like. Or they'd make it so simple. They'd pull up my phone and say, hey, FaceTime with me real quick and point to what you don't like. And they worked on my level instead of me having to meet them at their level. And not only that, but the upbeat atmosphere is fun. You come in and it's all about you. And it's nice to be the one that gets to drink from the fountain instead of constantly pouring into someone else. Why not learn something new? Why not admit to yourself that, hey, I can learn more, I can be better, I can be greater. You know, as a basketball player in college, I was nothing without the coaches that invested me day after day after day to help me work on a move or a play that maybe I wasn't the best at, and that fueled me to be successful in our game. It's those little battles that win the war, and when you have Clay Clark, it's a coach, it's a general that helps you through the battles.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma during the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. Whoa. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, you know, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow is going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. You know, over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have had the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes! We've designed these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there, too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much. And thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.